Good morning and welcome back to the DroneU News Recap. I'm Kim and I'll be taking over for Paul. Today we're covering some of the biggest drone industry developments from the last month, from FAA enforcement changes to renewed hope for DJI users to governments tightening restrictions and yes, even breakfast burritos delivered by drone. Let's get into it. Our first story takes us back to something that started nearly a decade ago. Many drone pilots may not realize that the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2016, the same legislation that gave us Part 107, also included Section 2209, a provision intended to protect sensitive facilities from unauthorized drone operations. Well, after years of discussion and very little action, we're finally seeing movement. The FAA has announced the Drone Expedited and Targeted Enforcement Response Program, better known as DETER. The purpose of the program is straightforward: accelerate enforcement actions against drone operators who violate FAA regulations. Under the new policy, first-time violators who meet certain criteria can receive reduced penalties if they admit liability and waive lengthy appeals processes. The FAA says this approach will allow regulators to resolve violations more efficiently while encouraging compliance. According to the agency, the goal is to deter what they describe as clueless, careless, and criminal violations of drone regulations. This also aligns directly with President Trump's executive order calling for more aggressive enforcement of existing drone laws and regulations. For professional operators, this development reinforces something we've been discussing for years. Compliance is no longer optional. The FAA appears to be shifting from education first to enforcement first in many situations, particularly as drone activity continues to increase nationwide. Whether this ultimately improves safety or simply increases penalties remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the enforcement landscape is changing. Moving on to our second story, and perhaps one of the most interesting developments for DJI users in recent memory. The FCC has officially requested public comments regarding the scope and implementation of restrictions affecting DJI and other Chinese drone manufacturers. For many consumers and commercial operators, this has created a renewed sense of optimism that DJI could maintain a future in the United States market, or at minimum, that regulators are continuing to evaluate the practical impacts of any restrictions before making permanent decisions. But this discussion raises a much larger question. Government officials have repeatedly stated that the United States needs stronger domestic drone manufacturing capabilities and more resilient drone supply chains. Most people would agree with that objective. The question is, how long is a reasonable timeline for catching up? 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? At what point does protecting domestic industry become less about creating competition and more about limiting access to technology that many operators currently depend upon? It's a difficult balancing act between national security concerns, economic competitiveness, innovation, and consumer choice. And regardless of where you stand on the issue, it's a conversation that will likely define the future of the drone industry for years to come. Meanwhile, we're also seeing a growing international pattern emerge. Ontario has announced restrictions limiting DJI drones for government operations and critical infrastructure activities. This follows similar actions by governments and agencies around the world and continues a trend of reducing reliance on Chinese-manufactured drone platforms for sensitive operations. Whether these policies ultimately expand into broader restrictions remains uncertain, but the direction of travel appears increasingly clear. Governments are taking a harder look at where their drones come from and who controls the underlying technology. Adding another layer to the story, DJI has reportedly received clarity, allowing support and firmware updates for existing products through 2029. For current owners, that's welcome news. It provides a degree of certainty regarding maintenance, updates, and operational continuity over the next several years. Of course, politics and policy can change quickly. Future administrations, future legislation, and future elections all have the potential to reshape the regulatory landscape once again. For now, however, operators at least have a clearer timeline than they've had in recent years. And finally today, let's end with a story that proves humanity continues to focus on the problems that matter most. Zipline, the largest drone manufacturer in the United States, has officially expanded drone delivery operations to include breakfast burritos. That's right, breakfast burritos can now arrive from the sky. The The service is rolling out through a partnership in Texas and represents another major milestone for commercial drone delivery. Now, while we're incredibly impressed by the logistics, automation, safety systems, and engineering required to fly breakfast through the air, we do have one important question. Where's the green chili? Because if you're going to deliver breakfast burritos by drone, especially here in the American Southwest, we're going to need some answers. Jokes aside, stories like this demonstrate how far the industry has come. Just a few years ago, large-scale drone delivery seemed like a distant concept. Today we're discussing real-world commercial deployments delivering everyday products directly to consumers. And while breakfast burritos may seem like a fun headline, they're also evidence that drone logistics networks continue to mature, scale, and become part of everyday life. That's all for this month's recap. What story do you think will have the biggest impact on the drone industry moving forward? The FAA's new enforcement program, the evolving DJI debate, government restrictions around the world, or perhaps the undeniable importance of airborne breakfast burritos? Let us know in the comments. For DroneU News, I'm Kim. Thanks for watching, fly safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.